Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Anime Lounge podcast. I'm your host, Matt, alongside with my other host, Lance, and we have John with us again today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back for this one.
I do appreciate you joining us on this one. I also believe you would disown us if we decided to do this without you, so thank you.
Absolutely. I've been begging for this episode since I first met you guys, so.
Right. And this has been on most of our lists. I would say really for a lot of the listeners too, mainly because, more importantly, because this anime finally got released in English. So we were more than happy to finally cover this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say I don't want to say it's an anime sin that we kind of have, but I feel like if we talk to anybody and they'd be like, "You haven't watched this yet?"
Yeah, I was basically gonna feel that too.
Oh, I was pissed.
Yeah, you had no one to talk to about your favorite anime.
I'm so excited to hear what you guys have to say about this one, because I could talk for years about this anime.
I mean, I can say my tease again, which is there's something crazy that happens in the beginning of the manga that is different than the anime, and I'm just going to leave it at that until I start talking about the manga again.
Yeah, we'll get there in a minute.
Oh, yeah.
But before we get there, let's see what everybody's drinking today. What about you, John? Start it out.
So you guys were gracious enough to let me partake in this Railbender ale. It's a Scottish-style ale from Erie Brewing Company. And then you guys also had me trying this Green River Wheated Bourbon. It's a Kentucky straight wheated bourbon. Very smooth. It's the flavor's incredible, and like there is some burn on the back end because it is 90 proof, but it's good. The flavor is worth that burn. So
nice, very nice. I will say it's a $40 bottle at that. So
Not
for $40, you can't beat it.
Right.
yeah.
And Matt bought this because you sent me a link the other week about this.
Yeah, there's a bourbon store, I guess you can call it, close to us that did a blind taste test between some like allocated stuff and this, and it actually beat the allocated stuff as far as like a blind taste test.
That's always something that you can brag about for sure.
Yeah.
Especially as a whiskey company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Our cheaper stuff was a better taster than more of the high brand,
Yep.
more expensive stuff.
Yep, absolutely.
So yeah, more than happy to try this.
No, it's great. Thank you guys.
Yeah, of course. Lance, what are you drinking?
Today, I'll also be drinking that Railbender Ale, and I am drinking some Evan Williams Single Barrel Vintage. It does say it. Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
Oh, there it is.
There was a bad angle with the lights. I got a couple more sips left of this, and then I'm gonna try the weeded next. What about you, Matt?
I am also drinking that Railbender Ale, and then I am having some Driftless Glen Bourbon. It's been a minute. I feel like it's been a long time since I've had any of it. So
Yeah, a long time ago. That was like, I don't know, almost felt like a 50 episode streak of drinking that stuff. No, actually,
no, that was
all
that was a Journeyman's. Yeah,
Journeyman's,
Yeah.
and Driftless were like the top two all the way back from the beginning.
And then we got spoiled with my parents going to the Bourbon Trail and getting us a bunch of variety of things, and we're like, yeah, let's keep doing variety. That's a good idea. And
Right, a good idea.
now I'm looking at like 10 bottles sitting on our desk.
Yeah, I was about to say, listeners, we've easily got over 10 bottles just sitting on our table. We got plenty to choose from.
There's quite the variety here. I'm liking it.
Oh, plus there's a couple bottles on the ground by me.
If they're on the ground, we don't want it.
We're not alcoholics.
No, we enjoy it.
But the fact that you brought out one of the the OGs, one of the top tier whiskeys for this episode, you have me excited as if you like this one or not.
I will say, I think we were talking about it during our potential trip to the convention in a couple weeks. As in, for when we're recording this, it's right up the road, so it's worth
that's right.
Worth going to the distillery for.
Yeah, we're gonna be in Wisconsin Dells, and we're gonna go visit this Driftless Glens distillery. So yeah, really looking forward to taking a side trip alongside some anime convention.
I mean, that is the podcast, right? Whiskey and anime. How can you not want to do that?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'll definitely
100%.
be buying a bottle up there.
I can't wait to just do the tour. The tour is going to be fun.
Yeah, $20 is a pretty good deal, I feel. for a tour.
Yeah, especially if you like whiskey, like seeing the whole process firsthand. You know, I've seen clips and videos, you know, all across the internet, but like to actually be there, seeing it, and you know, potentially even getting some taste tests. That'd be kinda,
100% you'll get taste tests.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm liking the idea of the $20 tour.
Good way to start our weekend. Maybe with a little bit of buzz.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, looking forward to that one for sure.
And looking forward to things. Lance, you want to give us that synopsis for today?
Let's hear it.
So today we are covering season 1 of Vinland Saga, and I'm going to pull this synopsis right from Google AI Overview, and they say, Season 1 follows the young Viking Thorfinn as he seeks revenge against the mercenary leader Askeladd, who murdered his father Thors. Consumed by rage, Thorfinn joins Askeladd's crew, becoming a formidable warrior while repeatedly fighting Askeladd for the right to a duel to the death. The story chronicles Thorfinn's descent into violence and ultimately futile pursuit of vengeance across a decade of conflict and war between Denmark and England. And that's what Google says.
Okay, Google's kind of mean for that one. Because they kind of threw a little bit of a spoiler in there.
They did.
Well, like some foreshadowing, I should say. Some subtle foreshadowing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, that's basically where the king was getting at the end of season 1. But yeah, that's my overview for that one.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Then I am interested. What is your Lance's lessons for today?
Today's Lance's lessons is going to be the Japanese word for pirate. And sorry, it is not going to be Viking.
Or One Piece.
Or One Piece, yeah. Yeah, I don't foresee us covering One Piece, so it would definitely be good for that one. Unfortunately, Viking is basically English. It's Viking. So we're going to skip over that one, and we're going to go straight to pirates, because pirates are pretty close to what the Vikings do anyway.
I mean, they did get called pirates at one point.
Exactly. That's why I was quick to switch to this one. And pirates are kaizoku. Kaizoku is spelled Kaizoku, and real relevant to today's episode because of everything we just said 10 seconds ago.
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, kaizoku, definitely relatable to One Piece for sure. So that's for all you fans out there too.
You're the real ones. Anybody that can get through that amount of episodes.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah.
All right, and now that my piece is out of the way, Matt likes to read the manga for every episode that we cover. So were there any differences between the anime and the manga? NANI?
Yes. As I had mentioned, one of the biggest things is they actually start the manga with the French stronghold, like trying to take it over.
Interesting.
And then they use
Remind everyone what the French stronghold was.
Basically the frog, toad, emperor, king person. He's trying to take over the French stronghold. Thorfinn goes to basically all the Oxlade, and all of them are looking over the whole thing. And Oxlade says his this guy's basically a giant dumbass doing what he did. And then he convinces Thorfinn to go talk to this guy. And then that's how the series starts.
Interesting.
So it starts with kind of some fighting, and then Oxlade and Thorfinn talking, and then Thorfinn going to talk to the toad guy.
And then it kind of backtracks and goes into his beginning.
He uses the conversation between Thorfinn and the slave is what brings up essentially the backstory.
Gotcha.
Oh,
okay.
Interesting.
So they use that as a flashback instead of working our way forward.
Okay. That actually would be kind of cool, because then, the beginning, has a lot to do with the slave coming in and to the household and everything. And it kind of flashes back to the teaching, or, the lesson that the dad was trying to teach. So,
yep. I know you would, John. I know you would really find that interesting. And I was like, damn. So they made it like almost a third of the way through the first season, and that's when they decided to use it as a flashback. So just kind of crazy how that works.
Yeah, I wonder how the anime, because obviously I watched the anime first. When it first got announced, I was like, oh, Viking anime coming, I'm getting Amazon Prime immediately. But no, I wonder how much that would have changed my perspective of the story from the beginning.
Also, a lot of Thorfinn's struggles in the very beginning don't happen. Very beginning of when he not really joins Oxlod's group, but kind of joins them, more hangs around them to basically that first village. Like, that doesn't happen in the manga. So a lot of his struggles to get to where he's at doesn't happen.
Okay.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, and I feel like those are very important parts, just because it goes to show like how much willpower he actually has as a kid, like how much that lust for revenge actually motivates him. So,
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the struggles were a big part of it because he had to find his own food.
Yep.
He had to make his first kill, and just the will to survive alone.
And then you saw all the group kind of having some sympathy for Thorfinn, like not enough to really do anything, but enough to like give him scraps and kind of keep an eye out for him. But if he got killed in some manner, they'd be like, oh, well, some stupid kid died.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to make a quick amendment. Like, his first kill, I didn't mean his first human kill. I meant the wolf.
Yeah.
When he was struggling to survive.
Yeah, the first like instance of life or death
Mhm.
that he like really experienced.
Right.
Which is important considering everything else that he goes through and has to experience, because like being in that constant fight or flight
Mhm.
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I would say sets the stage for the rest of the season.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep. When they do go through the flashback, the slave that Thor's saves is more emaciated and just kind of brittle looking than even in the anime. Like, he's basically nothing in the manga. Just kind of a reminder, Thorfinn left home when he was 6.
Yep.
I know they kind of bring it up at the very, very beginning, but if you're not paying attention or if you forget, I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. They skip all the first village. Basically, they kind of talk about, he's on the boat, and then they skip to him getting saved by the old woman. So basically, they're talking about how his father dies, and then I want to say he's on the boat underneath crying, and then they skip to him just kind of hunched over the tree in the river. And basically that whole time skip happens.
Where that old lady is like combing the lice out of his hair.
Yeah, and calling him
John.
Yeah.
Yes.
With the
Oh,
John.
yeah.
Oh, that one got me immediately when they started calling Thorfinn John. I was like, I already relate to this character so much, you didn't have to do that.
Also, a reminder, that was 5 years later, so Thorfinn would be 11 at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Something that, John, you might have caught this, but Lance, I almost guarantee you didn't. He told the woman, or the 2 girls, in English to run.
He did.
On my initial watches,
Yep.
I would have never picked that up.
Okay.
But I did a little bit of back research into this.
Okay.
And I found that out through my research. So,
Okay.
yeah, the anime doesn't necessarily do a good job on explaining because
At least the English dubbed
Yeah,
version.
the
sure.
dub version.
Good
doesn't.
point.
Because
Yeah.
it is in English. So.
Yeah. And also from a little bit of the research I read into, when 2 characters are talking in different languages to each other, even the dub was still speaking in Japanese to each other. But like there's like narration going on. Like, I can't understand this guy, just like the English was doing it as well.
Yep.
But it might have been more obvious to the sub version that in English he says or something like that.
Yeah.
Very much so. But I
Okay.
will say the one thing that I loved about the English version was that French compound where they all have French accents. Funniest thing in the world. I loved it.
That
I
was
loved it.
They
that
did.
was pretty iconic.
They did a really good
American
job.
French. Yeah.
Because the American French accents, the English, like England English accents, they did a very good job of finding people with accents.
It was so good. As soon as I heard that first French guy, I'm like, oh, this is fantastic. I just thought of Monty Python the whole time.
Oh yeah.
That's fair.
I also kept thinking that snake dude was such a One Piece looking character too. That's something One Piece would do.
Yeah.
This
That's
is an odd character for this show.
when Thorfinn wakes up from his dream. The Vikings were, we'll say, attacking. Not quite attacking, but attacking a woman. When he was in the horse stable when he was sleeping, and he wakes up in the middle of the night, and they're taking over that village. The Vikings are doing something to a woman, and it's not attacking. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
They were being Vikings. We'll put it that way.
Yep.
That's obviously something that they're not going to put in the anime, but yeah, definitely does happen.
Thank you for not doing Goblin Slayer route.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, like, it's a part of that kind of
Culture.
I mean, that's
pillaging
a good word
mindset.
for it. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I would say like that kind of actions like being taken. You know, the whole pillaging, like you said, and just going on raids. That's kind of the main term for it. But that was kind of the whole thing. Is they took what they wanted. Not saying that it's a good thing. There's a reason why Vikings are no longer around, but
Yep.
yeah, it was kind of a common thing that took place.
Yep, absolutely. Something I might have missed it. I'm pretty sure I double checked this. So when they were walking through Wales, as they were getting like guided through Wales through basically the second checkpoint, they had to act as prisoners. So they didn't have their weapons. They didn't have any sort of armor on. They were just walking through Wales as quote unquote prisoners.
Okay.
And that is how they were given the okay to get through Wales.
That does sound vaguely familiar.
Okay.
I think they made the quickest comment about how like they might have been like without weapons,
Okay.
but like I said, just vaguely familiar.
Yeah, and that also would explain, like, if it didn't happen, that would explain why the Welsh were screaming all these things at the Vikings, because they were quote unquote prisoners, so they felt the ability to look down upon these people.
I'm gonna eat your babies.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure there was a point in, like, during that whole section where I can't remember if it was Thorfinn or if it was one of the other Vikings in the background that had said something, but they did mention getting their weapons back, but it was very quick.
Okay.
And yeah.
And I know Thorfinn had his, because I remember, what was it, Oxlad said to put him down or something along those lines, because I remember there was a mention for Thorfinn to put his down.
Well, so that man never let go of his daggers.
That
They were always in his hand, and that's actually kind of a big part of the whole anime, especially towards the end of the season.
Yep.
You know, when things happen. Well, I'm sure we'll get to that part, but there's constant scenes throughout the show where they show him gripping his daggers even harder, and so no, he never lets go of those things.
The girl that ends up basically saying that there's Vikings in England, there were some villagers that found her. Basically, they go through the series of events on how she gets saved, or how she is able to tell the English that the Vikings are coming.
Okay.
So basically, she passes out on the ground in the snow, obviously, and the villagers saw the ring on and thought she was a noble. She was a noble that had passed out, and so that's why they saved her.
Okay. So because of the nobility.
Yeah.
Is this the same girl that was like asking God for forgiveness when she left her house because she stole this ring, and then
Correct.
that's her
Correct.
family got raided?
Correct.
Okay, that scene. Okay.
Yeah, so it's that girl that got saved because of the ring.
Interesting. So yeah, she stole it, felt guilty, and then she was saved because of the ring itself.
Yep.
Interesting.
When Thorkel confronts Thors, he was stopped by guards, and he had actually lied to those guards, saying that they're just peasants and that he is yelling at them to get away.
Okay, so
the
Thor's
backstory?
wasn't the first one to confront them in the manga then.
This is the backstory for Thorkel when Thors is getting his wife and kids to leave.
Yeah, sorry, I meant Thorkel.
Yeah.
He
So
was the first one to confront them.
yep. So
Thor's and his wife.
So the same things happen, but then instead, some guards, after the Thorkel swings his axe, some guards get involved, and they're like, "Hey, what's going on?" Thorkel basically was like, "Don't worry about what's going on. They're just some peasants. I'm trying to get them to go away." So he lies for Thors to help him leave.
Gotcha. That actually would have been kind of nice to have in the anime.
Yeah.
To kind of show, I mean, not that they really needed it, because, I mean, how much Thorkel actually respects Thor's is pretty apparent.
Mhm.
But that would definitely show a little bit more bond between the two.
I think it would have also done a better job of explaining his regret for not following Thor's.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Because it's like, I just let him walk away, and in reality, he lied to help him leave.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a little bit more of a, like you said, regret, but also responsibility in him being able to leave or not going with him.
Yep.
Yeah. No, and like I said, I think that it would have been a little bit just more character building, which is what this anime is all about, especially when you get into season 2. But
Yep.
no, this it definitely would have been a little bit more like it would have done a better job explaining the bond between the two because they are related by marriage.
Yep.
So it could have shown like how close they actually were versus just this warrior and that warrior respecting each other kind of thing. So
Yep. This is something I might have missed. I'm not 100% sure. So Canute told the one on the horse who called him Freya that he was in the presence of a king. So basically Canute showed some more authority towards the people who were calling him a woman.
gotcha.
Again, I might have missed that. It might have happened. I'm not 100% sure on that one. Canute told Thorkel that he would be repaid for his sled and food when they were going back to wherever his father was, where the king was. I'm not 100% sure where they actually went, but basically Canute told Thorkel that he would be compensated for everything. You see the king getting updates saying Canute is returning alive, and the king looks very frustrated that that is happening.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense after learning about what Ragnar had to show or share with Askeladd after, just before he died.
Yep.
And he wanted Canute to die.
Yep.
Baller move, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Just saying, gets stabbed, yeah. And he's just like, no, bring his ass here. I want to talk to him. I'm not dying until I tell him this.
Speaking of Askeladd, during him and Canute planning the potential assassination of the king, Askeladd tells Canute that they need to frame an official who is of higher status. So basically you get some kind of the plans in which they were trying to do to frame somebody in the assassination of the king.
Oh, so he wanted to do what he did to his dad to the king, because Askeladd killed his dad and framed it on an older brother or an older half brother.
Yep.
And then so he wanted to do the same thing to the king.
Correct.
Okay.
Because he knew it worked. It worked one time.
Yeah, right.
Old habits die hard.
I mean, yeah. You see Thorfinn attach the dagger to a stick and then wrap it around his arm and practice with it. Obviously, very much still in pain while doing this.
I would have liked that to be shown in the anime, because he went from 0 to 60 with that thing. He had
Yep.
It almost looked like a Mega Man blaster thing attached. He looks obviously super animated with this attachment. It was super funny and honestly the best he can do probably at the time. So sure, but it was strange going from broken ass arm to a giant sock 'em bopping kind of arm.
Yep.
Yeah. I still think I liked it. It was goofy and kind of exaggerated, obviously, but I feel like it was used to kind of explain, through by watching just how much he wanted to, end the life of somebody.
Yep. You see Thorkel talking to the other village chiefs, and the kid on Thorkel's shoulders is actually the son of one of those chiefs.
Oh,
so he's not just some random kid on his shoulders.
Sure.
And basically, there's a joke that chief makes, and Thorkel's like, "Hey, sorry, I killed a bunch of your sons," and he's like, "Don't worry, I got 5 more." And that was one of the kids was on his shoulders.
Oh, hell no!
I was like, "Damn, all right, that's one thing, I guess."
Probably would have been different if it was his oldest, but yeah.
No, he definitely killed his oldest. He killed his oldest sons, but he had 5 more, so it's okay.
Sure.
This is something this is a. I think it might have been a translation thing, but Askeladd tells Bjorn, he was his one and only friend.
In English, he said best friend. Or no, actually, now I kind of take that back. I wonder if he said,
"You're one of my friends."
You were my friend.
Yeah, you were my friend. That's what it was. And again, it might be a translation thing.
Sure.
It might have just been this is filling the scene a little bit better, so there's not any dead time. I don't know. I don't know how that works, but in the manga, at least, he says he's his only friend.
Okay.
That definitely would have hit a little bit harder.
Then you see Leif talking with slave traders, seeing if they've seen Thorfinn. Karlsefni means Thorfinn the Promising. I'm not 100% sure where that comes from.
1 second.
Karlsefni.
Okay, that is Thorfinn's last name.
Oh,
And
okay.
I don't.
Because that's what they call him. They call him that during the meeting around the prince.
Maybe, yeah.
Canute. I think that's what they call him when he's introduced to the king. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Yeah, so I can touch back on that a little bit into the future, but yeah, that is supposed to be his last name.
Okay. This may or may not be well, I'm going to say it anyways. So something that you find out at this point in the manga is Olva has 3 kids. So the sister has 3 kids. His sister has 3 kids.
Oh,
Yolva. Yep.
Yolva. Okay, sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah. So you find out through Leaf that he has 3 nieces and nephews.
interesting. Is that something you figured out in season 2?
Yes,
I was
I
gonna
believe
say,
so.
don't-
You learn that she's going to be a important character later
Okay,
on for
interesting.
sure. So
She's definitely a topic of conversation we'll bring up in the future, but yeah, I don't remember anything about her other than her being like named. Like, the Leaf Erikson conversation, like, aren't you curious about your mother and sister? Like,
Yeah, and basically during that time
I
is
think that was
when
the only bring up.
he brings it up and he says you have a niece and a nephew, or niece and nephews, or Olva has 3 kids, something along those lines.
Okay.
I'm trying to be careful in terms of my season 2 knowledge, because even with some of the scenes that you're talking about, there's some parallels. So
Okay,
Sure.
interesting, very interesting. You find out that the next real goal for the king, King Swines, is Ireland. So if he would have survived, that would have been where his goal was actually.
Oh, yeah, he did bring up Ireland. Sorry, my first bring up was Wales because of Osclad.
Yep.
But no, it was Ireland. He definitely
Okay.
did say that, like, that's their target.
Thorfinn was never in jail. Basically, he's sulking outside.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's just outside.
Okay.
Yeah, that entire series of events doesn't happen. He's literally just outside. And then when you see him running, it's basically the same concept where he hears all the fighting and then he goes and runs inside.
Interesting.
Like it's the exact same concept, but
Yeah, right.
he is just literally right outside.
Okay.
And he's sulking because he lost again. Because, he's like 15 or something. 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 11 at this
Wait,
time.
at the point in the
Yeah.
kingdom should be 11 years after so he should be 17 at this point.
Yeah.
'Cause
He should be in his teens. Yeah.
After
But-
he reunited with Leif Erikson, it was 11 years later.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
will
So
say-
he's 16.
I will say
17.
Yeah.
Yep.
Math is hard, okay?
I will say that I do like the idea of the jail scene a little bit better, just because instead of him being sulking outside,
Yep.
he's the setting is a little bit better
Yeah,
to kind of explain
solitary
to explain
setting.
the feeling and have that visual of like the alone,
Yeah.
that
Yep.
alone feeling.
I agree.
So,
Yep. Basically, I just want to reiterate what happens. Thorfinn basically gets arrested for what he did to Canute. It's not exactly known at the end of the season. You just see him getting taken away, but he's getting arrested for what he did.
Makes sense.
yep.
And then the ending of season 1 is on chapter 55. And to kind of go over how many chapters there are for the series, because the series is over, there are 220 chapters for the series.
Is it completed?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been done for a while.
Oh, it's been done for a while.
Yeah.
And we're only like a fourth,
Give or take.
give or take.
I'd say we're probably, if I had to guess, it's probably third of the way through the series.
Yeah.
I don't know how season 2 goes, so I can't say as far as like if they skip anything. But obviously, season 1 added like 4 or 5 episodes to what the manga compared to what the manga did. So that could easily be a large chunk of the manga
Sure.
that gets taken through season 2.
Yeah, because I wanted to say this series kind of loosely goes on the real life character of Thorfinn's journey.
Yep.
So like we can only go so far, but at the same rate, we can really dive into certain aspects of anything. It doesn't necessarily need to be elongated fight scenes. We can just spend some time and really nitpick some special details.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got for the manga.
Okay, we had quite a few differences here.
Yeah, definitely nothing besides the beginning, nothing too crazy.
Even still, though, like the differences, there are some where I could see being beneficial, like being in the anime.
Yeah.
Right.
But at the same time, like some of the other differences, like the difference, in the prison and whatnot, I think that those were kind of or not necessarily necessary, but nice
better change to what the manga did. Yeah, for sure. Then I guess let's get into some anime talk. Lance, I want to kind of throw this at you because we already know John's idea of the series. He's probably like chomping at the bit to know what we thought of this.
Oh, sure. So far, season 1, absolutely loved it.
Yep.
So happy to finally watch this. I can totally understand why this is highly rated for yourself. Coming from like basically no Viking knowledge, but when the History Channel was playing like that Viking show, that was a lot of fun to watch. So it was real easy to get into this one and stay interested because it's just more Viking knowledge.
Yep.
I really love the idea that we're playing basically parallel to actual history and just learning just about old shit like that in the format of anime made it all the more interesting. This was a fantastic series. The animation was great. Action was great. The story is very interesting. And I can't wait to continue watching this. I did hold back so hard on not starting season 2 because I did my typical re-listen and stuff, and like I could easily just continue going on. I got time.
Yep.
Staring at the next episode.
Exactly.
Button.
Yep.
I will say at least it's easy. Hulu doesn't have season 2.
Oh, I didn't even look into.
Yeah.
Is season 2 in English and like Crunchyroll then?
Yeah.
Oh God, they're doing like a Tokyo Revengers shit here.
Yeah, it's complicated, I guess.
Yeah, it was definitely backwards when I first watched season 2 because it was in Japanese and I had started it and I had to take a break for a slight bit of time. But then by the time I came back, the rest of it was in English and it caught me so off guard because I watched the entire first season in Japanese and it was a difference for sure.
Yeah, I can imagine.
What about you, Matt? What did you think?
Quick question before I answer. Does this crack your top 10?
Ooh, very interesting.
I don't want to say top 5 because you haven't finished it. One season is hard to break into a top 5. There's only one example I can say that would break into a top 5 for one season. But this, for me specifically, this season wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Top 10.
Top 10, I feel like, can be a little bit more adjust left and right.
I'd have to really sit down and think about that. Like, I would definitely have this amongst the higher rated anime just because of how thick and great the story is. And
okay,
it's a great contender. I can say that for sure.
Okay. I do agree with you on that one. Definitely has merit to be in most people's top 10 for sure.
Yeah, this has reasons too. It's not just because like, oh, the fight scenes were amazing and I loved his powers. Like, no, this has a great story. Yep. I guess that alone should be reason enough to be in the top 10.
Yeah, story, character growth, the animation's really well done, pacing's really good. Like, there's literally everything most people would be like, yeah, but like it's hard to say for this. You might be able to say like some of the gore and stuff might be a little much for some people, but beyond that, like as an adult, no, I can't say that. As somebody who likes a wide variety of anime, I feel like gore shouldn't stop somebody from being like, everything else makes it top 10 worthy. So here's the arguments.
Yeah. Yeah, that can be like a minute part that might set something off of a teetering point, but that can't be like a solid reason.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how happy I am to hear this. This is why I'm on the podcast. No, it was kind of the same thing for me. So my great grandmother being from Norway, Viking culture, not necessarily something I grew up with because I didn't know my great grandmother very well. Obviously, I did meet her before she passed, but not like we had a relationship or anything. But still something that interests me, growing up, like something that I took time to go out of my way and learn about. But when I first saw that it was coming out, I was excited for it. I was waiting for it. Finally released, and I binged the entire first season in about a day and a half. I stayed up all night after work watching it. Didn't go to sleep, went to work the next day, just a bag of crap the entire day, but it was so worth it for all the reasons that you guys talked about. The story being just incredible, to say the least, as far as, the writing of everything. And not to mention, I have my own, personal things with this story that I kind of relate to, but definitely, yeah, for all the same reasons that you guys talked about, it's one of my favorites for sure. And yeah, no, I'm so glad you guys actually liked it. It would be so awkward if I'm sitting here and you guys are, this is terrible. Why would anybody watch this?
Yeah, right.
So
I will say I did no research into Viking history, Viking lore. So as far as like my knowledge of this, it's literally whatever I'm getting. Like I have to take this all of like, hey, this is some kind of, I don't want to say folklore, but kind of in that aspect where it's like, this is Viking folklore. And as far as like, if these are actual people, which I know Lance has been doing some history, John, I know you have some knowledge of this, like anything beyond that, I'm just like, yeah, sure, maybe. It's interesting. It's all an interesting story. To me, at the very minimum, it's an interesting story.
Yeah. I'd say folklore is a good neutral thing to say about this, because this anime takes a handful of characters and then just exaggerates and plays with a couple things. And I can share a couple details, but this isn't a parallel replica of actual history.
Yeah.
for all the gamer listeners, it's like playing an Assassin's Creed game.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's close enough, and you just play with some fancy aspects.
Yep.
You know, some creative liberties.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like it.
Good word.
Yeah, it's very good. It is something that you could easily get hooked on. You can easily, it's deep, but it has just enough nuance to it where you can watch it, and if you're not paying 100% attention, you don't feel like you've missed everything that's going on in the series.
No, absolutely. They do a really good job of kind of making, not necessarily explaining the actions, but the actions themselves have meaning. And best example that I can give is right away in the beginning of the anime. Well, not necessarily the manga, like you said, but in the beginning of the anime when that slave does come and Thor saves him and, offers up the sheep for him. It overpays like crazy. But that's because he knows how important it is to die a free person.
Yep.
So he wanted to give that quiet death, that, not dying a slave and not being paraded around amongst all of the other slaves. He wanted to give that person a death because that has meaning.
Yep.
Right. So like there's certain actions where, like you said, if you're not paying 100% attention to, you're not going to see or like draw that meaning and kind of understand why they're doing those things. But at the same time, you're still not missing it.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess then, Lance, how would you grade this? Like, what kind of rating would you give it?
This is going to hover somewhere around 9 to 9.5 easily for me.
Okay. Yeah.
Nitpicky things. There's a small bits of animation that a couple of like detail information. Like they did a lot of great details for a lot of things, but there was a handful of things that were like awkwardly drawn out and stuff like that, animated. So you got to give most of that a pass because they paid attention to detail on many other things, like the way the blood oozed off of body parts and stuff like that. Like they didn't have to do that. Like that was really cool.
The calluses that everybody, like every time you see somebody's hands, like the top and the bottom of the hands are calloused. Like it's the little things that are the details.
The only thing that's honestly throwing me off is like facial features. It reminds me of like the awkward facial features from like Attack on Titan. Like why are your teeth popping out of your mouth? Like why are they so much of a focal point? Sometimes Thorfinn's like frowny face is like it looks almost. I know Japan loves making cat-like features for faces and stuff like that, but like there's a couple times where like his frowny face was like just a little extra, like too much notice was brought to that. So I guess tiniest of nitpicks there.
Yeah.
I will say that there are some moments like that in season 2. One scene specifically is coming to my mind, and I'm not gonna go into too much details, but it is a very iconic scene. It's probably one of the most important in season 2, and the character that it's revolving around, just pay attention to his nose. In that scene, it throws me off every time because it is a very serious and like meaningful scene, but it's just funny to look at, but at the same time it makes sense given the context of what's happening, and it's just funny. It's exactly kind of what you talked about. It's very awkwardly drawn,
Right.
but
It brings your eyes there, and like continuing off of like facial features, like every time Thorfinn would like backhand somebody with his fist, it was always like super aggressive, and you got like the little wave like motions of the person's face and cheeks. Like I guess that was really good attention to detail there too, and it was always super impactful, and I laughed every time. I loved every time he did that.
Yep.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree with you on your rating. Definitely a 9, like a very solid 9. This is very good, very well done.
Mm-hmm.
You guys don't have to cater to my favorite anime like this. You guys are doing.
Oh no, it's just we can't necessarily jump to a perfect 10, but
Yep.
this
No,
is well deserved.
9 is I'm over the moon about a 9.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, this is one of those shows where somebody, if you tell me, hey, this is my favorite, I'd be like, okay, yeah, sure, I can understand why somebody would say this is their favorite anime.
Mm-hmm.
After season 1, if season 2 progresses in the same manner or is essentially a continuation of the same thing, I'd be like, okay, yeah, no, I understand why this is your favorite.
yeah,
You can't knock it in the manner in which, like, no, this can't be your favorite. It's like, yeah, like I know some shows where you're like, really, that's your favorite? Like that's the one you tell everybody to watch. So okay, that's
Yep.
all right. So
yeah. No, this if and when you guys do get into season 2, Lance, you made it pretty clear that you do want to watch season 2, so I'm happy about that. But if and when you guys do get into season 2, there is a bit of a change of pace. They have there's a different focus as to like the message that they're trying to get across in season 2. And for some people that was kind of a big turnoff. But for me specifically, I liked it just because of, like you said, the variation in anime. Earlier when you were kind of explaining like, why it's okay to have that blood and stuff in there.
Yep.
For that same reasoning, I think season 2 was also incredible just because of the writing again. But it took a step back and changed the pace a little bit and focused more on a different part of story building and story writing than this season did. So
Okay, nice.
I'm trying so hard not to give away spoilers when I'm explaining these things because, oh man,
No, yeah, it's hard to hold back when
I get it. Trust me, I 100% feel that one. I will say, as far as season 1 is concerned, John, I will give you this one. What is who's your favorite character for season 1?
he's on my back right now.
Well, I haven't seen your back, so I don't know about that
I'll
one.
stand up really quick. Sorry, listeners, you don't get to see it, but
Okay. Yep.
Thorfinn.
Well, I see 2 people, but yeah.
there is 2 people there, but Thorfinn, 100%. Like I said, I have some personal parallels with his story, which I won't go into because there's a lot to unpack there. But
Your dad was killed and you want revenge on him.
No. But he, just in terms of his overall growth through season 1, I understood him more than any other character that I've ever watched in anime in terms of story writing. And I guess like immediately I just kind of had a connection. There's no other character in terms of any story writing, like whether it be video game, anime, movies, and any type of like media consumption that I've ever had this much of a connection to. And yeah, I love him as a character. I love the story, just his overall growth, especially when you do get into season 2 and kind of the path that he takes and the tragic beginnings. There's so much that I could go into to kind of explain more why I like him. But again, then we're getting into spoilers for season 2. But yeah, no, Thorfinn, 100%.
Awesome. Okay.
Plus dagger, dual dagger wielding characters, love them.
Yeah.
Always play rogue anywhere I go. So
Yeah, there's a bit of personality in there, like up close and personal when it comes to dual daggers.
mm-hmm.
Yep.
The athletic types, the ones that are jumping around and you see so many main characters where they run around with a sword or they got they're like the knight. Like they're always very hero-esque. This guy is like, no, he's like, I'm down and dirty. I'm trying to get in there. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Down and dirty like that. Well, you, Matt, who are you choosing?
I'm going to pick Thor's as my favorite character.
Okay.
I know we didn't get a lot of them, but just kind of all the moral, just what he stood for. He stopped fighting because he had a family and he realized, life is about more than just fighting and killing. It's like, cool. I spent my entire life believing that all a Viking cares about is pillaging and killing and trying to get to Valhalla. When he learned, it's like, what's here is also important. So I thought that was really good. Him giving his life for his son was just kind of, I guess I can feel that one, being willing to die for your kids. It's kind of a personal aspect as far as that one's concerned.
Sure.
And just kind of everything that he was trying to instill in Thorfinn, even after he had passed away, the lasting effect that he left on, Thorkel and everybody that he interacted with, even Oxlad 15 years, not exactly 15 years later, but, a decade later was still being like, hey, your father was this after just one meeting. And it's like, okay, yeah, this is a really important person to essentially the world. And unfortunately, he had to give his life for his son.
Right.
No, I will say it also means a lot more given the culture that they're in, right? Like he's very much swimming against the current.
Yep.
He is going against everything, that it means to be a Viking.
Yep.
And what's also super interesting is, given the parallels between history and everything, it kind of goes to show the whole like battle between beliefs and kind of how that changes, especially around that time frame, because when the Vikings went over to England to start raiding and stuff, a lot of them started to adopt Christianity and kind of take on that new religion. So it kind of shows like the change in mindset from, believing in their Norse gods, living their way, fighting to go to Valhalla and living their life a certain way for how long, to, focusing more on the relationships, not necessarily, or less violence, I should say. That violence is not the quote end all be all.
Yeah. I think he was like a sword. He had made mention about something being like the sword isn't, the I'm drawing a blank on what I was trying to say, but basically, fighting, killing, using a sword is not what makes you a warrior.
Being a true warrior doesn't need a sword or something like that.
Yeah, that's basically what I was thinking of. Yeah.
No, he has some incredible quotes. And the most iconic one, he says in the beginning, when Thorfinn picks up the dagger and he looks at him and he goes, "What would you need? What would you need a blade like this for?"
Yep.
And he goes, to kill all my enemies. And he goes, "You have no enemies." And like that line alone just goes to show how much, philosophy this man has. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Lance? We picked the best ones, so I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay, because my top two weren't even taken.
Oh,
interesting.
So it was a little bit of a toss-up, but all in all, I do want to go for Thorkill being my favorite.
Okay.
Thorkill, his energy for everything, his energy alone is just so much fun to be around. His Thorkill the Tall, he is called. His size and strength alone is just insanely crazy. The way that he's just picking up logs and throwing them, that's just insane. And his just Goku-esque battle sense for everything, along with his personality. Well, I guess that's Goku-esque. That's kind of what I was getting at. He just made every scene that he's in just fun. Like, it's a very serious scene, but the way that like he's partaking in it just made it seem like it was a little less menacing, but like just you knew it was going to be a fun time.
Like waving without two fingers, just kind of like,
Yeah.
See you again another time.
Yep.
Have a good one. Just kind of like waving off your friend after a good drink or something.
Yep.
Well, it's funny that you said that, like, every time he interacts, it's just bringing fun into it. But that's just because he's having fun the entire time.
Yeah,
like,
he fully believes the idea of dying in battle would bring him to Valhalla. So, like, win or lose, he's going to win.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he the voice actor for Thorkel did a fantastic job.
Oh yeah.
Like that energy was brought every single time.
I love Violent Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to say him. Also, there was one moment where like the battle where him and Thorfinn were going at it, and like just when Thorfinn like dug his finger into his eye and Thorkel's going absolutely crazy. The way they animated his hair made me think of like future Trunks from the Frieza season, or actually it would be the Cell season, not Frieza. Sorry, I'm thinking of Robot Frieza. The Cell Saga, where future Trunks goes like, you know, he's in a super buff state and he goes Super Saiyan and he's got that like brawly looking hair. There was a moment where Thorkel's hair was like super Saiyan popping. I'm like, dude's going absolutely Super Saiyan crazy right now.
Well, he was getting really pissed that people were trying to involve themselves into his fight.
And I was actually going to bring that up too, because that's one of my favorite parts about, or during, you know, with my favorite scene with Thorkel in it, just because they jumped in and tried to save him, because he is their leader, right? He's the most important person in their group, and they understand that and they respect him, but they know that they're not a group without him. And and even then he's just like, you stay away from here because you are
dishonoring.
Exactly. Yeah, you're dishonoring me. Like, don't do that. That we don't do that. That's not. Yeah. And even then, you know, he's still leading them, and while he's getting his eye gouged out.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Two more things about Thorkel that I liked was one, basically what you're saying is he's being stopped by like a second in command, like we can't lead without you. And then Thorkel takes both of his hands and grabs the dude's head, and his grizzly paw is just like completely the same size as that dude's head. And he's ready to just crush him like a grape or tear him apart. I was waiting for that to actually happen, but the dude stood his ground and, like, you know, things worked out. And then another moment I really liked about Thorkel is after he joined up with Canute, and then Canute's like, go socialize with people, get information. And you telling me to go get drunk and eat and socialize? Like, hell yeah. Like, that energy that he gave out of that was like, I got the perfect job. And like, that was just fun energy.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he's a good character just to have, like, in the show in general. It's especially with how serious some of the the topics were and just everything going on. It is kind of nice to have that comedic relief, but not. What I like the most about it is that it wasn't over the top, right? Like, it wasn't super goofy. It was relatable. Like, you know, it was well placed, well timed. Mm-hmm. You know, not too far off.
Yeah, it was just enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, they did a good job with him.
Lance, who's your number two then? If Thorkel was one, who was two?
Number two was Askeladd.
Okay.
Interesting.
Askeladd, okay. I did appreciate him a lot. Obviously, fucking hated him in the beginning.
Yeah.
But the clever asshole that he is, not saying I like him because, like, I want to be him or he did good stuff, but, like, I can appreciate his cleverness and just, it's weird to say, but I liked, he was very entertaining. How about that? It's very entertaining to watch this guy.
No, Askeladd is a very interesting character, not just because of his backstory or like his lineage being a nobleman's bastard child, essentially. But yeah, having that like type of tactical thinking, you know, not just jumping into battle and being a quote unquote like Viking warrior. He never bought into that kind of lifestyle. He was more of a true warrior is someone who's calm and can analyze and pick out the weaknesses of people. And which, I mean, he even explains later on why Thorfinn could never beat him in a battle. It's because he always gave into his emotions.
Yep. He knew what buttons to press.
You know, basically the entire time. And that was also his explanation as to why Thorfinn could never and had never beat him. It's because whenever he fought him, it was because he was pissed, because he had rage. So every time that happened, he would give in to that feeling, instead of when he was fighting Thorkel or when he was fighting anybody else on the battlefield, he was calm and he was able to think and tactically respond and have a game plan in those fights. So like when he was fighting...
For the most part. He still got his ass handed to him most of the time, but he was still much more responsive outside of Askeladd.
So like for an example, when he was fighting Thorkel and he was able to well, he didn't defeat him the first time when they fought on the bridge, but technically he got his butt whooped there. But even then, while he was fighting Thorkel on the bridge, he was still like thinking the entire time. He was like, well, if I get hit by this, I'm done. Right. Or if I don't cut his specific tendons or try to like reduce that power somehow, I'm not going to get anywhere in this fight. So he was picking apart things in the fight to be able to win, and finding the weaknesses that he could. Whereas when he would go up against Askeladd in the duels, it was always just, I'm going to kill you, and like never thought.
Exactly.
He would just give into those emotions and forget everything. Even all of the training that he did and becoming, an incredible warrior with those daggers. All of that was out the window when it came to Askeladd. So that's why, Askeladd was just able to barehandedly whoop his ass basically almost every time.
Mm-hmm. So does anybody else have a second favorite character? John, you got one?
Askeladd is definitely up there because I was kind of like you where I despise the guy. Right from the beginning. And he didn't make it any easier to like him, especially throughout the show with all the things that, he had their group doing, i.e. murdering an entire village and then burying their bodies.
Oh, yeah.
But no.
Apparently he didn't. So, he missed one.
Yeah.
Oh, the ring girl?
Yeah.
But it's not him.
Okay.
It's actually kind of... It's a tie between Leif Erikson and Canute. Leif, mainly just because of his, obviously his love for Thorfinn, just the devotion to him, to be looking for him even after how many years of him being missing.
Yeah, right.
Just kind of shows, how much he actually cared for Thorfinn and their family, and how much respect he had for Thor's, obviously. And he becomes a little bit more of a character in season 2, so there's also that. But again, I'm not trying to give away spoilers or anything.
Okay.
So Leif is definitely up there, but Canute, again, season 2 stuff, not going to get into it. But in terms of season 1, he was an interesting character just because of how the perspective of him changed so fast. Mm-hmm. Everybody
was
looks
acceptable too.
Yeah.
Right. It wasn't just a flip of a coin, like you were this guy one day and now you're a completely different person for almost no reason or some anime logic reason. This was a good turning point for him.
Oh, absolutely. Especially as a leader, someone that is in a position with power. He learned very fast. I mean, he had an inclination in the beginning, there's a point in the anime where he explains, I have to be careful about what I say. Mm-hmm. I cannot just be,
I am cautious.
Yeah, yeah.
I am cautious. Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good.
It was a good scene.
It made me laugh, though, for sure.
Yeah. I loved his interaction with Thorfinn and just the way, Thorfinn's, some rebel who doesn't give two shits about anything, and then Canute's I have to be super, super proper.
Yep. No, and honestly, their interactions are great too because it's funny because it's almost like they're best friends, but and they just hate each other at times, mm-hmm. But also at the same time, it's you can tell Thorfinn just gets under his skin the entire time.
Oh, for sure.
And he's just the pompous asshole that gets mad. So it's always funny to see that happen. But
you don't know my life.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that is.
Yeah. But no, in terms of development for him, it's really cool to see him go from that quiet, cautious kid to actually finding his voice and being able to find a purpose and that desire to lead, the understanding of how he views the world and how he wants to change it, mm-hmm. Is really cool to see throughout the show.
Right. So. And it can go hand in hand with a few reasons why Askeladd was so interesting to me is because he had a hand in all of that. He's the one that lit the fire under Canute's ass to, get his, I don't want to say get his shit together, but tear apart something so cherished to make him into a super serious, matured man or something.
Yeah, and definitely the whole interaction between those two where, it turns from Askeladd never believing that he could ever be worth following, especially as a king or anything like that, to that moment when he finally hears him like speak and have his voice, and he's just like, all right, this is somebody that I can follow. Yeah. And which is interesting coming from somebody like Askeladd too.
Sure.
So it just goes to show like the weight of Canute's words.
Mm-hmm. Matt, you got another secondary?
It's Thorfinn, to be completely honest. He was very easily my second favorite. And Lance, I know you had kind of mentioned previously about how these characters were somewhat based off of real life characters, so I'm very interested on like who exactly some of these characters were in real life.
Oh yeah, so I pulled up a handful of tabs. I did a little bit of homework getting ready for this, so I was very curious on who is a real character and who is a fake character. So yeah, Thorfinn was 100% a real character.
Okay.
To go into a little bit of detail, I'll read the quick AI overview. Thorfinn Karlsefni was a real person, an Icelandic explorer who led an early exploration to North America around 10,000 CE. 1,000. There we go. We're not at 2,000 yet.
We're not at 10,000 either. So.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Words are hard.
I missed a few years.
1,000 CE, Common Era. While the fictional character in Vinland Saga is based off of him, but has a very different fictionalized backstory, the historical Thorfinn has a successful merchant. He is a successful merchant and a leader who, with his wife, I'll skip over that, established a colony in Vinland, North America. I think at this point, very early on in the series, I think with Leif Erikson's description on Vinland with the hair, the headdress, and he was basically talking to the Native Americans from America. So we know it's North America.
Oh, thanks for the spoil.
And just one more little bit about his last name. One more time, I'm going to try to say it. Karlsefni. There's like 3 or 4 different meanings of it, but one of them is like makings of a man. It's just like they just translate it to like someone just becoming a man. We can say it like that.
Sure, sure.
Thorfinn is 100% a real person.
It'll be interesting. Maybe not necessarily season 2, but maybe season 3 they start working towards like that goal of going towards Vinland. I feel like we can kind of get into what thoughts of season 2 basically without John, because he already knows season 2.
Right.
And I'm not saying a word.
And with you saying earlier that the manga's finished and it only goes so far.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense because honestly, the true story of Thorfinn will only honestly go so far. So it's going to be nitpicky details on how far this actual anime is going to go when we follow this specific character.
Yep.
I wanted to let you finish, but it's pronounced Karlsefni.
70?
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Needed to hear it out loud instead of trying to pronounce it off of what I'm trying to read.
English to non-English at the same time.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, it's not Carl's. It's Carl 70. Okay.
Yeah. That Carl 70. Yeah.
Thank you.
The F is weird. It throws it off because English, we want to pronounce it F, but yeah.
Yep.
Sev.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I wrote it down so I know what you're talking about, but anybody who's listening to this is like, these people are dumb.
At least we can say we're trying.
That's 100%. That is true. We are trying.
We're only drinking, 90 proof whiskey, so we're okay.
And one quick more curveball into this. His father, Thor's, is not a real character.
That's fair.
But he is super, super loosely based off of another character.
Do you need John to go over there and read it for you?
No. This man named Thord
with a D?
Snorrison. With a D, yep.
So Thord?
Yeah, we got to play with Thor a lot. So Thord Snorrison.
Interesting.
Okay. And what kind of person is this? Or they got nothing?
Well, I gotta do a deeper dive into him. But
okay, that's fine.
It kind of appears that maybe that's not gonna be Thorfinn's father. But the origins of Vinland Saga's Thorfinn is not necessarily true to the real life Thorkill. Thorfinn. Jesus. I'm jumping through tabs and I'm reading other stuff.
Okay. Thorkel. You had said Thorkel.
Yeah, sorry. So I jumped to Thorkel's tab. Thorkel is also another real person. Thorkel the Tall, a Viking leader who was prominent in the 11th century England, known for leading Viking invasion in 1009 and later served as Earl under the Danish King Canute, while the rest of what I'm reading is whatever. But yeah, he's based off a real character, so
I'm assuming so is Canute.
And
that would be how that works.
And then another tab. I don't even need to explain it, but yeah, 100% Canute is real.
Canute is Canute.
From what Google's telling me, Canute in Vinland Saga is spelt very, very differently than Canute in the past. Like Canute in the past was C-nut Canute, and then Canute in the anime is C-A-N-U-T-E. So there's a spelling difference, but
I mean, that doesn't really mean anything. So.
Right. It's just fun to point that out.
It's probably easier for pronunciation's sake.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, I didn't even spell it the correct way in my notes because I was like, I need to make sure I say this right, not spell it right.
Yeah. And then Askeladd is also a fictional character, loosely based off of another character, but Askeladd himself was not parallel to anything in history.
Okay.
the Ashen one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was an interesting backstory. For sure. Awesome. John, do you have anything else, or is that pretty much any other correlations between the series of events anyways?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everybody you talked about there. Yeah, loosely based. A lot of the kind of like you had said earlier in the pod is folklore. There are some stories like Ragnar, for example. I know you had brought up the Viking show
On the History Channel.
Yep. And that's kind of how a lot of the Norse stories go. A lot of the events or achievements of specific people kind of get lost and grandized, and Ragnar being a very famous story from Norse history and everything. He's given credit for so many different things, such as the sacking of Paris and things like that. But then again, some people will correlate those specific instances that he's known for with other people. So a lot of the times is they all get pushed together. There's stories from way back when, and it's not like a lot of these things were being record kept. People weren't writing these things down like crazy.
Right.
Or these stories and telling these things, especially in Norse culture, because it just wasn't, a primary focus. Yeah, so a lot of those stories get lost or jumbled up. So, as far as fictional characters, they got to fill in gaps. They got to do their part. But, they can still base some of the things on those historical characters, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like that they did bring in those people.
Ragnar was Canute's retainer again, essentially?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But then,
sorry. The Ragnar he was talking about earlier in the History Channel.
Yeah, but I'm saying in the anime, because there is a Ragnar.
Another Ragnar, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Didn't want our listeners to know that we're talking about the same Ragnar.
Well, and now
what
Ragnar,
are you talking about? Ragnar in the anime did very many things.
Sure. Well, and then Ragnar in the anime, I don't think they ever actually mention his surname, but in the Viking show, his surname is Lothbrok or Lothbrok.
Sure.
However you would pronounce that. But he obviously has tons of escapades and the sons of Ragnar and everything that they did when they went over to England and all kinds of things within that story. But in terms of the anime, like I said, I don't think they ever mentioned his last name, but Ragnar, the name Ragnar means something in Norse folklore. So it's cool to see that. I don't know if they ever tried or if they ever were going to base him around the Ragnar that I'm talking about from the Viking show, but yeah.
Probably not.
No, probably not. That's probably also why they didn't, ever mention a last name. Because like I said, I can't remember them ever saying his last name, but
right. And trying to compare the two shows, they're two vastly different people.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. But in terms of the names actually meaning something, yeah, Ragnar was a very prominent name, from that time. So
nice. Very nice. Okay. Then as far as the anime is concerned, so we very much talked about pacing and all that other aspects of the anime and just kind of how good it is. Was there maybe a favorite series of events, maybe not necessarily favorite episode, just kind of something that stood out the most as far as season 1 is concerned?
I have one scene that stayed in my mind immediately, and it was the most anime scene in all of everything. Going back to Thorkel when
he's throwing logs through
Not quite.
Fucking
That's
entire ships.
100% anime. But when Thorfinn first fought Thorkel, and Thorfinn jumped from like his boat into the arena with Thorkel. Thorkel had a log in his arms, and Thorfinn's in the air. He made a really sweet looking animated jump, like his legs and arms were like flailing, and he's trying to like catch more air. But anyway, Thorkel is like mid swing trying to like bat Thorfinn out of the air. And then Thorfinn does like this really cool ninja ass thing where he like plants his hands on the log to like absorb the blow, and then like totally like avoids the swing in general. Like that was the most badass move in all of everything. Like the way to save yourself from something like certain death, that was just
to redirect the momentum and then
exactly
use it to kind of propel himself out of the way.
And then another saying those exact words for yourself on the second fight he had, where Thorkel was like kicking him or something, and then Thorfinn jumped back, and then unfortunately it sent him like 100 feet into the air.
Also very anime.
Very anime. Yeah. But at the same rate, the way Thorfinn can use I don't know, let's just say physics or his reactions and stuff like that. Thorfinn's so fast and nimble. The way he can just avoid attacks is just so amazing. So Thorfinn is my third favorite character. But with Thorkel's interactions with those, like they were just so much fun to watch. Those are my favorite scenes.
So the first fight, like something that really stood out to me with Thorkel and Thorfinn is when Thorkel intentionally takes the dagger into the hand and grabs him. I just thought of the scene from, what was it, the first Avengers Infinity War, where Hulk just is swinging Loki back and forth.
Oh, and just slaps him back and forth.
Yeah, that's all I can think about.
100%.
Puny God.
Puny God, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, is kind of funny because, it's Loki and similar concepts.
Oh, yeah. Funny.
So it's apparently that's just what happens within Norse mythology. And yeah, so it's just kind of funny. That's what I thought of when I saw that. I was like, oh, that's funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fantastic fight scene there.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
Honestly, it doesn't change. Like almost all of the fights have that kind of, I like it because each fight has that almost analytic kind of point of view where it's like, I need to do this in order to stop him from doing this. Mm-hmm. Or it kind of almost has that martial arts mindset. I mean, they're in a fight there. It has that like fight IQ. They go more into kind of the nuance part of fighting instead of just, I'm going to punch this guy as hard as I can. Or I'm going to, they talk about like how like Thorfinn was able to absorb the impact of the kick using his legs. And he did that to not die. Mm-hmm. Or like you said, when he dodges the log, he uses it to kind of redirect that blow. So that way he can, then get around and potentially even flank Thorkel. Mm-hmm. Or in the second fight with Thorkel, when he's talking about how he needs to cut the tendons so that way he can't, be as strong and hit him with like, one hit KO type power. So right. I love that part of the fights. It's almost like if you've ever seen the Sherlock Holmes movie with Robert Downey Jr., where he's discombobulate.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like that. I love those kind of fights where it's almost analytical. So
yeah, you got to think 2 steps ahead before you even pursue your first step.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else have a favorite scene, episode, moment?
I mean, honestly, the entire first episode, to be completely honest, is just kind of insane. Everything that happens. Thor's giving up his life for Thorfinn, and
I would say first arc. First episode was, I think, the slave episode where the sister finds a slave in the snow and they they start resuscitating.
Yeah, the third episode is when Thor's takes all the
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Sorry. So the third episode, but it's that one. That whole thing. The fight was really good because when Thor fights Bjorn when he's on like high on that mushroom.
Those mushrooms. Oh,
Which, by the way,
I'm Googling that right now.
by the way, is a huge part of Viking culture. People who were to eat mushrooms and then go into battle were known as berserkers.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
yeah, and basically they would fight with like the bloodlust of 10 men, essentially. Like people believe like during that time era, mushrooms, psychedelics, things like that were like heavily used in their religion as well. Like it brought them closer to God, or well, their gods, you know, like Odin and Thor and Freya, Heimdall, all of them.
Yep.
Going into battle while high on mushrooms was a big deal back then. So
Yeah. The first link I clicked on was basically saying what you were saying, is just being high on mushrooms.
yeah, it was almost like a spiritual type thing. Those that wanted to be more immersed in battle essentially would take those, and then they were considered like some of the more holy type warriors, essentially. Because, like I said, they would do that to be more in tune with the battle.
Sure.
And kind of, like I said, be closer to their gods. So
Okay, interesting. And then that one was very impactful. And then I have another one that was I wrote down in my notes, not for the emotional reasons, but John, I'll let you give one, and then I'll come back to my second one.
trust me, you don't want me to get started because I'll just start naming off every scene in the anime. But yeah, if I had to pick one, there was one, and this is what kind of like drew it. It made me think about the anime in a completely different way. And also, like I said, kind of draw my own personal connections with the character. But the scene where Thorfinn is on the boat and he's first kind of instilled with that rage, that lust for revenge, and he's staring down Askeladd
As a child?
as a 6-year-old,
Yeah,
and he's
okay.
like, I am going to kill that man. And he's so angry, he's so frustrated, he's got all these emotions as a little kid, and because of all of those like mixes of emotions, like you can just see it on his face. You can see like all of the rage, all of the pain, sadness, just everything. And he's just screaming at essentially the world, like brought tears to my eyes. I love that scene. But in terms of fight scenes, it's kind of a tie between Askeladd's final fight in the throne room or longhouse, you know, however you want to describe it. But
Sure. Yeah, solid scene.
the final fight scene where he's pretending to be insane, to give Canute plausible deniability to his actions, but it would probably be a tie between that one and then Thorfinn's first fight with Thorkel, just because like it was the first moment where like you see Thorfinn's kind of growth as a warrior come into play. And you're just like, you see this indomitable person, this guy that's just like throwing logs and destroying boats. And then Thorfinn as like, you know, this little kid, everybody's just discounting him. He's the underdog, you know, like everybody has no expectations for him. He just comes in and actually does something against this unbeatable warrior. And you're just like, okay, all right. You know, he doesn't win, but he shows that he's capable. And I like that. I like that scene too. So
Fair enough.
but go ahead. Tell me your other one.
Okay, so
Tell me more.
the one I wrote down was the priest, Wallabad.
The alcoholic?
The alcoholic. When they're all drinking in, I guess, the longhouse on the second time around, when he's shaven, and they figure out who he is, and they find out his age.
Yep.
Like that.
23.
That whole series of events I thought was just, I actually laughed out loud when like, you're only 23. It's like, I mean, yeah, that's a real statement right there. I did not think he was 23.
One more of my favorite moments with that dude, when they're on like this carriage and they're walking through and he's talking to all the other Vikings, and one of the Vikings talks to him, is like, who do you think is stronger or better? I don't remember which word they used, Jesus or Odin. And then the dude's like, whoever made booze.
I feel that guy. I like it.
Yeah, no, he's a good character.
Yeah, a good character, but philosophically, fucking threw me through a loop for when he was really trying to describe love and stuff like that. Like love the way we understand it today and love the way he was describing it in this anime are just like not the same word. And it threw me off because this dude's saying that love is something that you can't, like, he's basically saying death is love because this item, I'm going to say item, doesn't, there's another word I'm thinking of. Anyway, he only gives, he doesn't take. He's going to give to the world and all that kind of stuff. Discriminate was a word he used. So like when Ragnar was describing his love towards Canute, like, well, I love Canute. Like, yeah, well, your love towards Canute is discriminating against literally everybody else. Why can't you give that same love to everybody else? Like, it's understandable, but like there's such an extreme right there that I feel like that needs to be a whole new word in itself.
Because fuck them kids.
Well, one could also take that as him trying to explain to him, you know, like kind of what he might think a king should think like, you know. But yeah, I mean, I think that's also a really good part about the show in general is just how much difference in perspective there is on a lot of different topics that, I mean, can even be applied today. So
sure. Well, it's also a religious thing. It goes more into like the love thy neighbor. You should, if you're, because, you know, he's a priest, he's viewing it as the aspect of like Jesus or God, where he doesn't love one thing more than the other. So how can you say you love Canute and not have the same love towards everybody else when you're saying that you're this Christian type person? And it's a very priest, very high thought process where, you know, this is, if you want to live up to God's worthiness, because of course, you know, this is back in 100 CE. So the Christian values are very different than the Catholicism that is even today. So it's, unless you're living under the same essentially rules as God, you are not a real Christian.
Yeah.
So there's that as well.
Yeah, a lot of deep stuff.
Yep.
So I just wanted to bring into focus that the term love needs a different meaning
Yes.
in the reference that this priest was talking about, because
well, apparently he doesn't know love because he loves booze.
he could have used the word devotion.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Your devotion towards Ragnar could be, why aren't you this devoted to everybody else?
Right. Yeah. Words carry meaning, and when you start loosely using them to describe anything, it loses meanings in other aspects. So,
well, that's when like the two brothers ask him if he loves booze, and he's like, I'm trying to remember exactly what he said, but he's like, no, I don't love booze. I just drink it or
then
something.
Stop drinking it. Yeah, exactly.
There's honestly a lot you could pick on this, as far as kind of what John had brought up, where really, if you wanted to, you can kind of go through each of the episodes and be like, yeah, I really like this part. I really like this part. This part had a lot of meaning. And again, kind of something that we've talked about numerous times, where that is some of the descriptors, some of the reasoning behind why people like this show so much, is that, you know, there's not a lull really as far as like the storytelling is throughout this series. You can kind of go from episode 1 to episode 24 and be like, oh yeah, all this stuff happened and it was good. It was all really good.
No, and I think that is the best part about it, is that there's almost every instance that happens in the show, you can kind of draw your own meaning to. And I think that that's kind of the best part about the storytelling, is that it's not necessarily just the fights. Like, the fights are good, but just the overall storytelling and kind of how things are presented to you as the viewer. It's open to your own thought process, or like what you take away from it. It's open to you and how you view it. So
interpretation.
Interpretation. That's the best word. This weeded bourbon's got me. No, but no, it's definitely open to your own interpretation. That is a good word, and I think that's kind of like the best part about it. There's so many impactful scenes. There's so many things that you can find meaning in, and I mean, that's why I love it. Just because like everything that happens throughout the show, it's like that actually, you know, it makes you think. And I would definitely say that's why I love it so much, but
Fair.
I'm devoted to it that much.
Yep.
Although we are pretty far into this episode, we do have some, things we have to throw into the episode as well. So let's take a quick break.
Hey everyone, just taking a moment to tell you guys about our other podcast, D&D News. Follow us on our shenanigans as we try to save Earth from some monstrous priests. Find us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Just search D&D Noobs, that's Noobz. And now back to our episode.
And now that we're back from our break, something that I did bring up earlier was just kind of a little bit of speculation as far as season 2. John, you can use your season 1 goggles if you so choose to, or you can just not be a part of this conversation. But Lance, what do you have as far as what you hope/think is going to be a part of season 2?
All right, so season 2, I do 100% expect us to continue following Thorfinn.
Okay.
We saw in the final moments of the last episode where his daggers are falling.
Yep.
Very
iconic scene.
Iconic scene. Is very emotional. Like, it's him letting go of everything that basically the entire season has been about his revenge. So, like, he's letting go of that revenge. So now I expect to find him refinding himself in the next season. So he needs to find out who he is as a person. So I want that to be much of the core.
Okay.
In addition to that, I want to find out, I mean, you kind of already ruined that. We're going to find out about Thorfinn's sister.
I also kind of ruined it. So
that too. When we first got introduced to Canute, when he was wearing that mask and he had his long blonde hair in the back, I'm like, holy shit, did Thorfinn's sister like start a revolution and like she built up an army and now she's looking for Thorfinn? But no, it was actually Canute. So like I wanted to see his sister be a little bit more relatable to the story, because we saw her being such a badass after Thor's died. Like she took everything upon her shoulders.
We'll say suppressing all your feelings as badass. Sure, yeah, let's go with that one.
Honestly, yeah. So I want to see more out of her because she's a strong individual, and I want to see what happens from her.
Okay.
And obviously, knowing that Canute is a real true leader
/ dude.
Doesn't have boobs.
Yep.
What? No, we saw it, right?
Yeah.
If you're a manga reader, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, there's nipples in the manga.
Yes, there were.
Yeah, so I want to see more of Canute raising to his glory and
without nipples,
with a man chest, and seeing what he does with his kingliness. But yeah, more specifically, I want to see Thorfinn get over his sorrows and find out who he is.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I just have one thing to say about all of that, because I'm not going to go into any of your speculation. I don't want to ruin anything for you. But in terms of like when the daggers are falling and your interpretation of him like letting go, it's more along the lines of it being like forcefully taken from him.
Oh, sure, that too.
Yeah, because you see him like being dragged away and forcefully taken away from his ability to have his revenge, which is his entire, drive.
Yeah, right. That's a better way to say it. Yeah.
The whole reason why he even survived this long was because he wanted to kill this guy. Mm-hmm. And then to see it all get taken away from him, in that moment, and then when he finally releases his hand from the dagger, it's because it's like being taken away from him. And I think that was kind of the metaphor of that. Sure. Not necessarily him letting go, but it being forcefully taken from him.
Right.
So
yeah,
so you're not,
like I said, that's a better way to say it.
He's not as free as the bird that was flying in the sky.
Maybe not yet.
Yeah.
We know.
Okay.
Well, aside from what history has to tell us, we know that there's a lot more story to come out of him. So
yeah, he has to get to Vinland, correct? Right. That's essentially what has to happen.
Newfoundland, yep.
Yeah.
he's got a little ways to go before that happens, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to be an adult, like an actual adult, not a 17-year-old, by the time that happens.
Oh, for sure.
I believe in season 2, he is in his 20s. So
Okay. If the ending of what happens in season 2, so what's going on in that, I kind of know what's going on. I'll be curious about like if that's the beginning of season 2, as far as what is the beginning of what would be chapter 55. So we'll kind of see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
So with the knowledge that Thorfinn was essentially being taken away / arrested, how, like, do you have any speculation on what's going to happen after that? Like, do you think Canute's just going to, like, set him free, or, like, what do you think is going to be the...
My first impulse is to say a little bit of solitary time. There'll be a small chunk of time that's going to pass by, and Canute's going to come to learn of his past or something, like all of his journey.
He spent 15 years trying to kill somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he's just gonna be like, well, I don't know, you're a victim of this shitty circumstance, and now your drive for all of this is gone. So, like, I don't see you as a literal threat.
Okay.
Which is a shitty way to think about that, maybe. But I'm just thinking what he might be thinking. Yeah, you gave me this cool ass scar, so now I look like a badass king. So I'm gonna let you go.
That's true. You help me, I help you.
Right.
That's okay.
Yeah, I don't foresee that being a huge focal point on him being incarcerated by a long. I think half an episode's worth.
Okay.
In the next season, maybe.
Good thought.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. That's just my thoughts.
I will say there is a much higher severity to raising your blade to a king. So,
Yeah, that's a huge no-go. Like,
Okay.
basically, if you're not dying, that's a good thing.
essentially, yeah.
Yeah. Any more thoughts, Matt?
I have a feeling that Leif Erikson is going to have some sort of part of season 2 because of the little bit I do know as far as like the very beginning of what would be season 2.
Yeah, I should also say with my little bit of homework, Leif Erikson is 100% important into the future too.
And I feel like Leif is going to be the reason why the events that happen in the beginning of season 2 progress, we'll put it that way. And that it is the catalyst in which Thorfinn starts to grow as an individual. I also think he gets more of a better understanding of who his father is through Leif Erikson. And just kind of, he is able to not necessarily move on from the hatred he has towards Oxlade, but just kind of being like, coming under the realization, like, I can't get my revenge. So he's just kind of starting to work through those emotions and just trying to understand who his father is, trying to maybe not necessarily exactly go back to what they're in Iceland, right? Maybe not go back to Iceland, but just kind of potentially taking a interest in what's going on with the village there, with his family, trying to, instead of just having that one-track mind of, I have to kill Oxlade, because obviously that's he's already dead. You can't re-kill him.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of I feel like the focal point, and then kind of a little bit with what John had been mentioning, is going to be around the character growth of Thorfinn and just what's going on with that way, with kind of what's going on the side with Canute and all the kind of him progressing as the king and really being viewed as the king throughout England and throughout all the Vikings settlements. There we go. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Because I know Canute had made mention that, we're not going to go towards Wales because there's going to be a lot of kind of, now that the king has died, there's going to kind of be some turmoil between all the settlements that we had just recently taken over within England. And so I feel like he's going to have to kind of not necessarily retake over all of England, but kind of just put more of a stronghold on everything that's going on within England.
One thing that I don't want you to forget about is that there is still an internal power struggle because he does have a brother.
Yes.
The older brother, yep.
Yep. So there's probably going to be, his brother is probably going to get word that there is a new king, and that's going to probably cause some conflict. And maybe that happens later in the season. I feel like the beginning of the season kind of revolved more around Thorfinn and his growth, and then everything else is going to be like, and this is what's kind of going on in the background.
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be another 5, 10, maybe even 15-year jump between the beginning and ending of season 2.
I don't think 15.
15 is a little pushing, but I can see 10. I can see Thorfinn being in his mid-20s.
I feel like it's probably going to be 10 years. I feel like is going to be the end of the series. Like,
right.
All right, I'm getting into Vinland, and this is where the 10-year thing happens. And I think I think it'll probably be like 2 to 5 year span within this time period.
I will say I'm trying to not give away any spoilers, but I think that neither of you are going to be disappointed as far as season 2 goes in terms of what you're expecting or what you're hoping for. You will be surprised as to kind of, I don't want to say like how it starts, but
I unfortunately already know what's going to happen in the very beginning, but Lance has no idea.
Right.
Sure.
I can tell you Lance will not be able to guess what happens.
In terms of the anime or the manga?
The manga. I'm going to guess that the beginning of the manga is going to be similar to the beginning of the anime.
Okay. Because I'm not sure.
That's season 2. We can't talk specifics about season 2.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Just the way that it starts, it's centered around someone specifically that isn't someone that you're expecting. So
okay,
yeah, we'll talk about this after.
Yeah,
we could definitely do that.
But no, it's in terms of your expectations, everything that you're kind of thinking or theorizing. Like, I don't think either of you are going to be disappointed. I'm not going to say either of you are entirely correct, but
I would just say if I was correct, I went into the wrong career field, I guess.
There's some things that you guys said that are definitely prominent in season 2, but yeah, I just can't wait until you guys watch it. And
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we'll be there.
I think I read like 2 or 3 chapters into what would be season 2.
You cheater.
Well, that's why I know you're not going to be able to guess what's going to happen in the very beginning.
That's all right.
I know next to nothing about what actually happens. I just kind of had a rough idea because unfortunately I was trying to like figure out the ending of season 1, and the ending of season 1 basically goes into what is season 2 or what I presume to be season 2. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's just kind of along those lines. So.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to know how much time passes between season 1 and season 2?
Nah, it's all good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Yeah, that might be a little. It's not necessarily gonna be a spoiler, but I'm ready to.
I just need to watch it
for the anime itself.
Yeah. When it comes to season 2, obviously I'm not going to go into speculation because I've already seen it, but I really love the direction that they took. I know a lot of other people weren't exactly happy with it. Their main, I want to say, dislikes about it is the lack of action that it has compared to season 1.
Mm-hmm. I was about to guess that.
But in terms of character development, season 2 is a masterpiece.
Cool.
By far and away, some of the best character development writing I've ever experienced. So
very interesting. All right. Yeah. I know it's on the list. We'll put it that way.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Is that 24 episodes?
I believe, I believe so. It's roughly around the same amount as season 1.
All right. I'll double check, but yeah.
All right, but that is going to conclude our conversation for Vinland Saga Season 1. Stay tuned to the future when we cover Season 2, because clearly we're all interested, and John for sure can't wait to cover Season 2. But
I'm just fingers crossed Season 3 comes out before I die, so.
Oh, sure. I can only imagine that it will. But now we get to a fan favorite of our Pokemon quiz.
Yeah, this is really what everybody's been waiting for.
Okay, so we're going to jump into Generation 2 material, and question 1 is going to be, what typing is Houndoom?
Fire Dark.
Yes, Fire Dark.
Fire Dark is correct.
Ooh, I got a 2 typing correct.
There you go. All right, question number 2, true or false? Generation 2 is when you can teach Scyther Fly.
False. John, you only have one option. Yeah, I was going to say, you only got one option.
Yeah, I got to stop doing true or false when there's 2 people here. All right, the correct answer is false. Scyther can never learn fly.
Okay, I was like, what the fuck? It's like the AI video of the
Doduo,
flying.
and they're just twisting their heads super fast. Yeah, that was fucked.
Like, there's no way that's how they fly.
Yep.
It's canon now.
Yeah, everything's canon.
All right. So yeah, technically, as a team, you guys are 2 for 2.
Yeah, way to go, us.
All right, time for me to fuck up your guys' lead. What level does Slugma evolve?
26.
38.
For fuck's sake, Matt.
Oh, I got
Good
it.
job.
Oh, yes.
Number 1 on the nose.
Let's go.
Oh,
Way to clutch it
man. I deserve a Pokemon card for that one.
Yeah. I'm sure I got a Pikachu card at home I can give you.
You should start giving out packs as prizes.
You could just give me the pack that I gave you for Halloween.
Oh, yeah. I haven't even opened them yet. Been so goddamn busy with work. I've just been working and sleeping all week.
Oh, man. I'm honestly surprised I got that.
Yeah, I was very
funny.
surprised, too. 38 is super high for a stage 1 guy. But yeah.
I just remember Slugma you get at that like ashy mountain towards the top of the map, and I was like, I'm pretty sure you get that somewhere in like the mid to late 20s. So I just took a random guess.
I hope you're not thinking of Gen 3 of that ashy area.
Is that Gen 3?
Gen 3
Yeah,
had a
Gen
literal
3 is,
ashy
yeah.
area.
You might be thinking, well, because I'm pretty sure you do get in Mount Silver, or at least like on the side of Mount Silver.
Yeah, I was thinking of Mount Silver.
Mount Silver's not ashy.
Okay. Well, apparently I'm imagining things. Oh, yeah, because
Gen 3 did have a legit ashy area.
yeah, because I'm thinking of
Or
Ruby and Sapphire for Gen 3.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, like when
that's
you're
the
going up
actual
there,
ash,
because Groudon and everything that's
Yeah.
going on.
All right, well, I lucked out.
Yeah, that was solid guess. Good job.
Let's go.
And for any of our listeners who are listening this far, it's not like I spent 5 minutes trying to think about this. It was literally like
Yeah. I think this might be the first 3 for 3.
True 3 for 3. Yes.
Yeah. I didn't even have to give you guys a second guess on the evolution question. Good
Well,
job.
technically Matt got the 3 for
I-
3, but
I'll
as a
take
team-
I'll
as
take
a
the
team.
team.
As
I'll
a
take-
team, yeah, you got one, and then Matt got one. So
Yep.
I'll take it. I'm good for that.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, that was good. Good on me. Apparently, that was a good prep for. That's just good vibes going into the convention weekend. That's what that is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we're gonna record twice at the convention. When we're there.
Record twice for the convention. We got press badges for the convention, so it's going to be a good time. Good
Huge.
time. We're prepping for it. Keep an eye out for the socials to just kind of see how much fun ColossoCon is, because we'll be posting stuff up.
yeah. Hopefully I don't make a fool out of myself this time, but
That's fine. It'll be fine.
We're just getting more and more familiar with everything, so it's gonna be a little bit easier.
Lance, have you gotten your cosplay for it yet?
I've gotten about 3/4 of everything. I know we're only like a week away at this point, and obviously when this episode comes out, the ColossoCon will be over with. But
I mean, we got almost 2 weeks. It's we'd be
Right.
leaving the day before it. We're essentially 13 days from leaving.
right, so I ordered a handful of pieces, and I'm waiting on a trench coat and a pair of gloves.
You're giving it away. People might be able to guess what you are. They won't. But
They won't. That's pretty vague.
Pussy girl.
yeah, he's going to be the invisible girl from My Hero.
I'm just gonna be running around naked.
Trench coat open.
Yeah, no,
Serial flasher.
not gonna be her.
Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome. I technically, with the cosplay that I have, as long as I keep changing wigs, I can be anybody I want to be.
Oh yeah, that's very funny. I need to copy what you're doing, just on like, we can have like one serious day of cosplay, and then we can do like one side day of that. That's
Amazon,
So-
$40. You can get it in a week.
I'm doing that in the future.
John, you can do it right now. You could literally do it right now. Amazon.
Fair. I thought about it. I was thinking maybe, because I'm not much of a costume type person or cosplay in general, but I thought about if I was going to do it, I was thinking maybe Thorfinn. I could get away with it with the blonde hair and everything. So.
I mean, that's true. You're not angry enough for that, though. Especially with some alcohol, you definitely won't be angry enough for that one.
That is fair. I am generally a pretty happy guy, but maybe I'll be season 2 Thorfinn.
Well, we don't know what that is, so that
exactly. That's why I wanted to leave it up for interpretation.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I went over to Lance's place for Halloween, and I said I was a background anime character for my costume, so it works out well.
It was so great.
I can't wait to see it.
Lance, you got it. Nobody else got it.
Right. Yeah, love it.
Yep, absolutely. But that is all we have for this episode of season 1 of Vinland Saga. John, thank you for suggesting it. It definitely was able to check that off of our anime sins.
First off, thank you so much for even taking the time to watch it. Like I said, I've been begging for this since almost a year ago exactly, because I think I met you guys right before we went to the con.
Yeah.
Last year. And and even then I was telling you guys all about it, how much I loved it and everything. And I think season 2 was just about to come out or had come out.
I think season 2 was coming out.
Yeah, something like that. And but yeah, I was like enamored by it. So I was talking about it like crazy. But yeah, no, I'm just so glad that this actually happened because after meeting you guys and then hearing about the podcast and everything, I was like, oh, it'd be great.
Please.
Yeah, just do this, and I don't even care if you have me on for it. Just do an episode, and I'll play it, 100 times over. So
I'm keeping that part to you. Got to keep your word on that one. But it was definitely a good suggestion. I will say you're not the only person that has suggested to watch this. Pretty much everybody we talk to in some manner brings up Vinland Saga. So it's definitely something that we, as in Lance and I, have we've talked about. But I think with the whole not being able to get it on Crunchy, we've been very hesitant on trying to watch it.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and the availability of it is definitely
right. And part of our shtick is we like to cover stuff that's in English so that we have more people. I would say the vast majority of anime watchers out there are English watchers. So we want to make sure that everybody has a chance to relate to this when they can.
Yeah, absolutely. French accents and all.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't forget the English, English.
There's
accents.
a lot of great accents in this.
There really is.
Everyone was great.
Honestly, the Toad with the French accent was hilarious.
Well, and I think that was probably the most anime thing ever of just everybody looking normal the entire time, and then there's that one guy.
Attack on Titan Toad. Yes.
Yeah. But no, thanks again. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch it, and it's, like I said, it's my favorite anime. Yeah, I'm glad to be able to talk about it, especially in depth like this. So
perfect.
Yeah,
happy to do this for you.
And thanks for joining us. Yeah. Please make sure to check out the anime show as well. Check out all the awesome anime content they have on there. They will be posting up everything as far as the winter season is coming up. So if you're curious or on the fence about what you should be watching, they are a great source to check out for anime news. Also, please subscribe to us. Please make sure to subscribe to our D&D channel, D&D Noobs, NOOBZ, and have fun with us as we kind of make fun of ourselves as we're being noobs for D&D. And then have a good one, everyone.
Later, guys.
Thanks, you guys.